Which coordinates identify a location north of a city that has a latitude of 38.0 degrees north and a longitude of 25.0 degrees west? First, you have to determine which of these two numbers is just there to confuse you. So the question is about finding a city that's north of 38 degrees. So the 25 degrees west in longitude is totally irrelevant. So we just need to find a city that's north of 38 degrees. So if we look at 38 degrees north, it's going to be right here between 30 north and 40 north. So right here along this line, close to the San Francisco. Let's look at Athens, Seoul, Korea. So anything on this line is located around 38 degrees north. All right. So our choices are 0 and 0. Well, that's the equator. That's 0 degrees north. All right. 25 degrees north. That's going to be down here near Miami. That's definitely south of 38 degrees. Then we got 38 degrees north. Well, 38 degrees north is not north of 38 degrees north. It is 38 degrees north. So our next question is 47 degrees north, which is all the way up here, like we're getting close to Paris now, Montreal. We're far north of 38. So our best answer is D, 47.0 degrees north would be north of 38.
And you're being asked to determine where on this topographic map the river is flowing its fastest. You need to go back and remember some of the rules of topographic lines. When the lines are spaced closely together as they are up in this region of the map, that indicates a steeper slope. When the lines are spread out, that indicates a gentle slope. So when you look, your best answer is going to be point 1, because the lines are very close together. You can notice the contour lines have very little spacing between them. So in this case, your best answer is letter F.
Alright, first let's look at the picture on the left, where we're walking across some terrain. And we can see that as we walk from A to B, we're walking up a hill. And you can tell it's a hill from the circles, and you can see the elevation is increasing. So right now we're walking up a hill, but then we got to start walking back down the hill. And then we come to another hill, a little bit of a steeper hill, because you can see the lines are closer together. And then we're at the top of the hill, and then we go down the hill. And what that would really look like from the side would be a profile. So if you have all these numbers and you do a graph and you match these numbers up, you can get exactly what the profile of the land looks like. So this question is just a little bit more complicated, but it's the exact same principle. So as we walk from A to B, what's happening? And what you can see here is we're actually walking down a hill. We can see by the way the arrows are pointed. And then when we get over here, it even says mountain on it for you. But as you can see here, we're walking up a mountain. And we get to the top, and then we start walking back down. So we need to walk down a hill, and then up a hill. So this is not the profile, because it's not straight. B, down the hill, and then up the hill. So our best answer here is B. On the topographic map provided, what is the elevation at point 3? So we got to find point 3, and we see that our contour interval is 20 feet. That means every time we go from one line to another line, we go 20 feet in distance of elevation, change of 20 feet. So if we look, we're at 1400 here, 1380, 1360. We're at 1340 for point 2, 1320, 1300, 1280, and 1260. So our best answer is F, 1260. At which point will the trail be the steepest or the toughest to climb, the highest in elevation and the shortest distance? So that's a very easy question. All you have to do is find the point on the map where the contour interval changes most rapidly, or the lines are the closest together. So if we look at W, this is a pretty flat area. So is Y, and so is Z. In fact, they're all in kind of the same flattened area. But point X is right here where you can see all the close contour lines. and that would be a very steep area to climb. So our best answer here is B, X, is the steepest.
To this question, you have to have an understanding of latitude and longitude. The latitude point given in this question is 41 degrees, 45 minutes north. So you need to go to your latitude lines indicated on the left margin here. You'll go to 41 degrees, 45 minutes north, which would be about here. And then you need to look for your longitude line at 50 degrees, 14 minutes west, which would be about here. When you take those two and you have them meet, you'll notice they meet at point A. It's just like when you do coordinates in math when you're graphing. In this question, it's checking your understanding of map distortion. When you look at the map, you're looking at a projection of the world, which is round, on a flat surface. In this case, the northern and southern hemisphere get really distorted as you get closer to the poles. So your best answer here is J. The map is a projection of a round world onto a flat surface. This is why you get the distortion up by Canada and Alaska. What presented here is checking to see if you have an understanding of how to use a map scale. So in the question, it tells you that the fire is traveling at 1 kilometer per hour. So we need to measure the distance between where the fire currently is and the distance between that and the ranger station. So I'm going to take a shape and I'm going to put it on here, and you'll notice this is the distance here. We take that shape, we put it up to the scale, and we notice that it is going to be halfway, which would be half a kilometer. So if the fire travels at 1 kilometer per hour, that means half the distance would be completed in 30 minutes. The question presented here is checking your understanding of latitude and longitude. Longitude lines run north to south. So these are all examples of longitude lines. The question is asking you to find the approximate longitude of Richmond, Virginia. Richmond, Virginia is indicated by an R on the map. So you find the R for Richmond, Virginia, you take it to the top, and you'll notice that the answer is between 60 degrees and 90 degrees west longitude. So when you look at your answer choices, your best answer is going to be F, 75 degrees west longitude. The question presented here is asking you to find out how much the river delta has increased from the years 1982 to 1996. So it's checking your understanding of map scale use. So I'm going to take a shape and I'm going to put it up to the river delta from 1982 to 1996. Then I'm going to take that shape and I'm going to hold it up to the map scale. And as you look, it's approximately 4 kilometers. So when you look at your answer choices, choice G, 4 kilometers, is your best answer. This question you're being asked to determine the length of the Red Sea. Again, this is checking to see your understanding of utilizing a map scale. So in this case, I'm going to take a shape, I'm going to hold it up to the Red Sea, and measure the distance of the Red Sea. Next, I will hold that shape up to the map scale. There's 300, 600, 900, 1200, 1500, 1,800, and 2,100. Your best answer here is J, 2,100 kilometers. The question here is asking you to identify a hill that also contains a volcanic crater. If you look at the four maps, you'll notice map C is different from the other three. Notice the little hasher marks. Anytime you're reading a topographic map and you see these hasher marks, that means a decrease in elevation. Think of a volcano. When you go to the top of a volcano, when you get to the very top, you can go down into the caldera, which is a lower point of elevation. So this here indicates the lowest point of elevation. This would be the correct answer, C. This is a hill showing a volcanic crater.